2:17 a.m., the Statue of Liberty blinked, not the torch, not the city lights playing tricks on tired eyes. The statue itself, those giant stone green eyes, closed once, opened again, and for half a second, a thin line of pale blue light leaked from the seam of her eyelids like a camera flash trapped inside a monument. I was the only one watching. I wasn't supposed to be in New York that night. I was supposed to be in a windowless room at a government lab in Virginia, sipping burnt coffee and pretending I didn't hear the word non-human whispered in hallways. But I'd gotten a message from a number with no caller ID. Come to the water. Bring no on if you want the truth. I'd ignored 100 messages like that since the hearings, since the leaks, since the endless late-night podcasts with grainy videos and dramatic music. This one felt different. Maybe because it came with a second text, a photo, a close-up of my mother's face. She'd been dead 12 years. I stood at Battery Park with my hood up, hands deep in my pockets, staring at Liberty across the dark water. The harbor wind cut like a blade. Tourist ferries were gone. The city behind me was asleep or pretending to be. Then Liberty blinked. My phone vibrated. Another text. Now look down. The water was black, rippling with faint reflections of Manhattan. I leaned over the railing, and at first saw nothing. Then beneath the surface something moved. Not a fish, not a seal. A shape like a shadow wearing armor. It glided silently, too smooth, too deliberate. A circle of light appeared in the water, expanding outward like a lens opening. The cold air tasted suddenly metallic, like pennies on my tongue. A voice rose from below, not loud, but clear, like it was speaking inside my skull. Elena Ward, you came. I froze. No one knew I was here. I hadn't told a soul. Who are you? My voice came out hoarse. A friend. Friends don't text pictures of dead people. We do, when we have to. A ripple rolled across the harbor, in the circle of light sharpened. In its center, a platform rose from the water without a splash. It looked like glass until it caught the city glow and revealed patterns, geometry that made my eyes ache. If I stared too long, on it stood a person, human-shaped, tall, wearing a simple dark coat, hair wet like they'd walked out of the sea. Their face was ordinary enough until they smiled. The smile was perfect, practiced, like they'd learned it from watching humans in movies. You can hear me now? They asked aloud, and the sound matched the voice in my head. I didn't step onto the platform. Every instinct I had screamed, trap. How do you know my name? They tilted their head, studying me the way a scientist studies an insect. Because you've been circling the truth for years. And because you were born into it. Born into what? They extended an open hand. Into the treaty. It word hit me like a punch. Thought my father had worked for defense. That's what he always said. Like defense was a single building with a neat plaque and a flag out front. When I was 12, I'd overheard him arguing with someone on the phone. You don't understand what they promised. You don't understand the treaty. He'd caught me listening and stared at me for a long time, as if deciding whether to erase my memory or trust me with a secret I wasn't old enough to hold. He chose the third option, silence. I don't know any treaty. I said, you will. The stranger's eyes flicked toward Liberty. But not here. They're listening. Who's listening? Who's listening? The stranger's gaze moved to the skyline, to the dark windows, to the bridges, to the invisible web of cameras and antennas. Everyone. A new sound rose behind me. Tires on pavement. I turned and saw two black SUVs glide into the park with their headlights off. Doors opened. Men stepped out, dark suits, earpieces. The smooth, confident posture of people who believe the world belonged to them. My stomach dropped. The stranger on the platform said quietly, you were followed. I didn't. I started. But it was too late. One of the men lifted a hand, and a red dot appeared on my chest. Elena Ward, a voice shouted. Step away from the water. The stranger sighed. Always the same choreography. I backed up, hands raised. I'm unarmed. You don't understand. The man yelled. That is not human. The stranger's eyes flashed as for a heartbeat in the air between us, and the SUVs shimmered. The men shouted, stumbled, as if they'd hit an invisible wall. Their red dots shook wildly. What did you do? I whispered. Pause then. The stranger said. A courtesy. We don't like harming your people. Your people, I repeated. The stranger finally stepped closer to the edge of the platform. Elena, you came for the truth about aliens on Earth. Their smile faded. So here it is. The wind died. The harbor went still. Even the city noise seemed to dim. Like someone turned down the volume on reality. We didn't arrive recently, the stranger said. We didn't crash in 1947. We didn't build pyramids or teach our ancestors agriculture. They pointed at Liberty. We arrived before you could see us. My throat tightened. That doesn't make sense. It will. They tapped their chests. We are not visitors. We are the remaining caretakers of a system older than your species. A cold tremor ran through me. Earth is what? A zoo. Their eyes softened to cradle. I laughed once, sharp and humorless. You're saying you made us. No, they shook their head. We didn't make you. We found you. They paused, choosing words like they were selecting fragile objects from a shelf. Long ago, this planet was marked for cleansing and ecological reset. A natural cycle in this region of space. Your early ancestors would have been wiped clean like footprints in sand. And you stopped it, I said, half believing, half terrified. We delayed it, the stranger corrected. We built a shield in the sky, hidden in your magnetic fields. We kept the fire away. My skin prickled. I looked up instinctively as if I could see something immense hovering above the clouds. Why? I asked. Why save us? The stranger didn't answer immediately. Instead, they reached into their coat and pulled out a small, turquoise-sized disc. They flicked it gently toward me. It landed in my palm, warm despite the cold night. The surface was etched with symbols that shifted as I watched, as if the metal was remembering different shapes. In the center, a familiar seal appeared. United States of America. I stared. That's your government's symbol, the stranger finished. Your leaders demanded it be included. They like the comfort of ownership. My mouth went dry. So the government knows. They've known. For decades. The stranger's voice grew darker. Not because they discovered us, or because we allowed them to. Why would you? Because of the treaty. They gestured toward the frozen SUVs. Your species is fast, ambitious, violent, beautiful in its way. You would have reached the stars without understanding what waits in the dark, and the things that wait out there. Their eyes went distant. They did not negotiate. I held the disc tighter, so you hid. And you made a deal. Yes. They leaned forward. We offered protection, time, quiet skies. In exchange, your leaders agreed to one rule. What rule? The stranger's voice dropped to a whisper, yet it filled my head like thunder. Never let humanity learn what you truly are. My heart slammed against my ribs. What we truly are. The stranger looked at me like I was the saddest, brightest thing they'd ever seen. Earth is not the only cradle, they said. Your species is not alone in its shape. You call them aliens because it makes you feel separate. They nodded toward the disc in my hand. But your DNA isn't purely from here. I felt dizzy. The park lights blurred. No, I said. That's impossible. Is it? The stranger stepped back, and for the first time their outline wavered like a reflection disturbed by a stone. Their face shifted subtly wrong, eyes a fraction too wide, skin rippling with patterns beneath. Like something alive under a mask. Your leaders didn't want the truth because truth changes power, the stranger said. If the public understood that aliens aren't invaders from the sky, but kin-scattered descendants of a broader lineage, then borders become smaller, weapons become meaningless, and control slips. The frozen men in the SUVs strained against the invisible barrier, faces red with fury and fear. The stranger's gaze returned to me. We tried to guide gently, quietly. We embedded ourselves in your world, teachers, doctors, engineers, artists. We pushed you toward cooperation, toward empathy, toward surviving. What's coming? What's coming? I asked, voice shaking. The stranger looked past me, through the sleeping city, through the continent, through the ocean, like they could see something far beyond Earth. The cycle ends, they said. The shield cannot hold forever, and the ones who enforce the cycle have noticed the delay. My fingers went numbed around the discs. Why tell me? The stranger's expression softened again, almost human. Because your mother asked. Us too. My breath caught. My mother is dead. The stranger tilted their head. Is she? Before I could speak, Liberty blinked again 3 times. Rapid, like a warning. The harbor light circle flickered. The stranger's voice sharpened. Elena, you have 2 choices. Walk back to those men and forget this night. Or step onto the platform and learn everything at a cost. What cost? I whispered. The stranger's eyes locked onto mine. You will never see your world the same way again, they said. And once you know, they will hunt you. Your own species. Not because you're wrong. A faint crack echoed as the invisible barrier around the SU began to fracture. The men inside were moving again, faster now, like a video unpaused mid-violence. But because you're early, the stranger extended their hand once more. The platform hummed, waiting behind me. A gun clicked out in my palm. The disc pulsed once like a heartbeat answering my own. I didn't know if I was stepping toward salvation or the oldest lie ever told, but I knew one thing with sudden, terrifying clarity. If the truth about aliens on Earth was real, then the most dangerous alien might not be the one in the water. It might be the one holding the gun. I took a step forward. Please don't forget to click on like and subscribe button for more interesting stories. Thank you.